Obviously a 4-quarter fight. It's a tough one, right, to come up on the wrong side of the ledger of that. Kids fought hard. We need to continue to strain. We need to continue to finish. We need to continue to lead in a more purposeful way so we can get the guys in a great position to be successful as we finish and end this thing, the right way that we all know that we're capable of. And we got to do a great job now doing the next thing the right way, having a great Sunday, owning what we did today as a staff, as an organization, and continue to grow and move forward as we come together as a team, as we head into conference play.
Just asked two of your team leaders about how they move forward, and they both answered, this is going to bring us together. That game's in the past, we're now moving forward. Sound like things you could have said. I mean, we're two guys that young, were able to be that mature. I mean, what is your response to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's our mindset, right? As we move forward, whether it's good or bad, or however that is perceived, right? Like, quite honestly, it doesn't matter. We got to continue to get better, right? And so we got to go and we got to do the next thing the right way. And we got to learn from this tape. We got to learn from these lessons, and we got to learn to come together and make sure that this adversity, again, galvanizes the guys in the locker room, galvanizes the relationship, builds the trust as we move through this season, as we move through this journey, as we build this program to a championship level the way that we're going to.
We've talked this offseason about your evolution as a game manager. And it seemed like first half, 21-19, that maybe it's going to be in kind of that shootout kind of mode, but then it turned into this field position battle. Just talk about what you were thinking from a strategy perspective.
Yeah, it's always putting our guys in the best position to win, right? And being loyal to that and managing the clock and managing the situation so that we can manage everything that's happening and put our kids in the best position to be successful. Clearly, I need to do a better job with that as we're going forward, right? But the way that the second half adjustments were playing out, the way that the game was evolving and unfolding, right? We were able to, kind of change our pace and do some things to make things a little bit more balanced as we went, to put ourselves, in a couple opportunities to come out on the right side of it. But again, I got to look at it, I got to assess it, and got to continue to lead our team, lead our organization, not just on game day, but throughout the course of the week, so that we can be in a more successful situation, and end up, again, on the right side of things when that final whistle blows and there's zeros on the clock.
I think it was after they had their long drive to bring it to 19. I think it was like 21-12, the time of possession started to shift in their direction. I mean, were you mindful of where that was, and was that a consideration?
Always mindful of all the impacts and all the things and all the factors that lead to winning, right? And again, going to be loyal to that, going to make sure that, again, we're constantly putting our kids in the best positions to be successful, whether that's schematically, whether that's time management, whether that's, the guys who are playing in which areas of the game, so that we can be leading and be purposeful and put our kids in the best position to be successful and to win ultimately.
Could you talk a little bit about field goal kicking? Obviously, Gabe was the starter, and then Nick came in, and obviously had a day that he'll never forget, unfortunately. Just what has happened with the field goal kicking? Why was Gabe kind of moved around?
Yeah, I mean, across the board, we're looking for consistency in all of our position groups, right? And we're looking for the guys that, again, are going to give us the best opportunity to execute consistently good, not occasionally great. And that's an area right now where we need to continue to evaluate and continue to assess as we move into conference play about who's going to be the most consistent guy at that spot.
There was a play in there right before Jude Wolf's second touchdown where it looked like one of their guys may have intentionally stepped on Danny, his knee. They got chippy there at the end, all of those kinds of things. I mean, did you guys feel that was a cheap shot? Was that part of what you guys saw, or was that?
Didn't see anything with it. I'm concerned about what our guys are doing, what we're doing in our locker room, what our staff's doing. Didn't see anything with that.
Talk a little about Marcus Cooper. Obviously, with Danny, it didn't seem like they were really looking for a read option or anything of that nature with his leg, and he just kept pounding it. Marcus Cooper is and answering that bell. What did you say?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy, again, that we can lean on consistently. He's a guy that, every time that you call his number, he's going to ring the bell. I mean, he's a workhorse, right? He's a guy that, again, that we can rely upon, that that you're going to get each and every single day that you go out. And, he embraces that role for our team.
Vertical threat is something we've talked about. Lewis Brown obviously did that today. Could you talk about?
Yeah, I mean, again, as we continue to evolve and as we continue to build the relationships in the throw game and we get our timing down, and again, those relationships continue to evolve, right? There should be not only LB, but other guys that, again, get comfortable with, consistency across all levels of the offense, right? In all units, so that we can open up the throw game, stretch the field vertically, create horizontal spacing, and create vertical puncture lanes in the run game as well.
You had 6 opportunities down late. You ran the ball 5 times. Just what was your thought process with that?
Yeah, I mean, again, at the end there, wanted to make sure that we put ourselves in a position after the pick six that Bryce had to, set up a good field goal and extend, the lead and make it from a field goal to a touchdown would have to beat us, right? While also taking time off the clock or making them use their timeouts, which we did, and then effectively, didn't do enough in that situation, right? But again, like to me at the end and in those critical moments, a lot of it is about, players, not necessarily about plays, and giving the ball, to Coop. Again, trusting him, trusting in the O-line. But again, things that I need to do a better job as a play caller as we continue to evolve as an offensive unit, making sure that we're utilizing all the weapons that we have at our disposal, right, and maximizing the talent and the skill set that we have of all those guys offensively.
Chris Johnson had a really big play where he jarred him on special teams. With as many snaps as he plays on defense, one of your best players answering that to play on special teams. You talk about him, that play, and also just kind of how that's infectious for you.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you have your best guys that are adding value in multiple phases, right, like that really sets the standard that, no job's too small, so to speak, right? But we put a major emphasis that all three phases need to be tied together, right? Guys need to play with relentless focus. They need to play with relentless effort. And Chris, through, these first 4 weeks has been the standard of that. He shows up to work each and every single day, gives great effort, is a highly competitive young man and a guy that we can really trust and we can really lean on.
Last question for me. What was your message to the team after this game and how they are able to be able to turn it?
Yeah, I mean, again, do the next thing the right way and make sure that we pull together and that we're never going to pull apart, right? That's what a family does. We're building a family atmosphere. We're building the relationships that are here. And again, we got to learn from these lessons. Got to have greater attention to detail. Got to have greater focus, greater effort, greater strain so we can come out on the right side of this.